I'd like you to get really comfortable in your seat and just making that connection with your feet, if they can be flat on the floor and legs not crossed. And just feel the connection with your bum in the chair and your back against the back of your seat. And you can have your hands either just arms hanging down by your side, or like me, I've just got my hands just relaxing in my lap. And if it's comfortable, just either have a downward gaze or close your eyes. And really, this is just a little meditation that's going to hopefully infuse you with energy and love and really help you focus on relaxing and just thinking about what we're going to be doing later with our little creative meditation. Just getting us ready really in a nice space for doing that. So what we're going to do as usual, we're going to bring our focus and our attention to your breath. And we're just going to let go of everything that is happening around you. Just letting go of all of the activity that you've had so far today. And just letting go of any thoughts that might be swirling around in your head. Just letting go of any physical sensations that you might be feeling right now. And we're just going to simply focus on your inhale and your exhale. Breathing in and breathing out. So I'm going to start by taking a deep breath in. And as you exhale and let that breath go, just feel yourself just dropping in to relaxation. Lowering your shoulders, softening your cheeks, relaxing your arms and your legs, and just allow your body to be rooted in this moment with your breath. Soft, yet solid, relaxed, yet aware. Just breathing in your normal rhythm, sitting comfortably with your eyes closed. And as you sit comfortably with your eyes closed, focus your attention on this present moment, on sights, sounds, and any sensations. And thoughts will come up, but simply ask these thoughts to slow down. Breathing in your normal rhythm, in and out. Focusing your attention on your breath, just observing your breath moving smoothly in and out of your body. And as you breathe, I want you to imagine that every breath that you take in is cleansing you, clearing space that is taken up by emotions or physical sensation. And every breath that you let go, you're exhaling those emotions and all those physical sensations out of your body. Breathing in, clearing space. Breathing out, letting it go. Just in your normal rhythm of breath. Breathing in, clearing space. Breathing out, just letting it go. And if your mind wanders, don't forget that you can simply bring your mind back to this moment, back to the breath, always focusing on returning to the breath. Breathing in, clearing space. Breathing out, letting it go. Simply bringing your mind back when it wanders, back to the breath, always returning back to the breath. Breathing in, clearing space. Breathing out, letting go. And if thoughts and feelings come up, you can observe them. But just let the thoughts and feelings go. Simply relax, breathe, focus, and let go. And bringing your mind back to this moment, back to your breath. I'd like you to inhale deeply into your belly, feeling your body expand with energy. And exhale all the way out. Breathing in, feeling the breath cleanse, really refreshing you, and breathing out everything else. Bringing your breath back to its normal rhythm. Just feeling your body coming back into the space. Another deep breath. In and out. Big stretch. Don't want to come back into the room. Oh, big stretch. Shake it out. Jazz hands. Wiggle that booty. Tap those feet. Right. And I'm going to have a big drink. Right, so I'm going to get started. If everybody's ready. And basically, I am going to start with a frame. So I'm going to do my 4 little dots. And my tummy was rumbling very loudly. So I hope you didn't pick that up on the microphone. And you can breathe and let go as you draw the line around to create your frame. So you can breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Okay. And then I'm going to draw a smaller frame in the inside of my box. So another box. So I'm going to do 4 more dots. Try and get something that looks squarish. That's rectangle at the minute. So I might just extend my dots a little bit here to make it kind of slightly bigger, just so that it's kind of even. and more sort of square shaped. Okay, but we're not looking for perfection. And as I always say, there's no mistakes in our tangles. It is basically what it is. And now I'm just going to divide my square up a little bit further. So I'm going to pop a line kind of going through that square and going through on the other side. Okay. And then actually maybe I'll just kind of split it on a diagonal. So where we end up. Okay. So we kind of got like a diamond, I suppose. Now, I'm going to start by doing a swirl in the middle. So this is kind of where we're bringing in our Marasu. So it's not going to be very big, which I said it's not really the focus. So I'm just going to bring over it again. And you can let it go bigger. And if it bumps into the edge, I'm going to just turn around and imagine where that comes. And you might get it just a little bit there. And then coming around, imagine where it's going to bump back in, which is probably going to be about there. And on round, and then back in. And coming around, and then maybe just a little bit there. Okay, so we've got this kind of starting of our spiral. And then I'm going to really focus now and take my time, but I'm going to do some little orbs like tipple all along my spiral. So I'm just going to focus now on doing that. Okay, so turn the tile so that it's comfortable for you, but just in this moment, focusing on the mark that you are making on your tile right at this moment. Remember just to breathe normally. Taking your time. Just doing little orbs along that line. And if you feel that you're rushing, just take a moment to just slow down and focus on this moment. And even those little partial bits in the corner, you can just fill in the space and imagine where the orb would be, or the partial shape. Okay. And then on my diagonals, I'm just going to create a little, like a part of a square, and I'm just going to color that in. So it's just going to frame my corners. So I'm just going out from the line a little tiny bit, and then I'm just drawing a square shape, and then I'm just going to color it in. And it's just going to go around the edge of the inner square. So it's just creating some little bit of interest on that. So you're going to come out at an angle and then create that shape, and then just fill it in. I've gone over a bit on that one, but I'm just going to try and make them even, but obviously they're not going to be perfect, but that's just how Zentangle is. So no mistakes. Okay, so we've kind of got this framework now. And now I'm going to come in with lines that we would normally kind of do when we're doing the Marasu pattern, but I'm not going to color in. I'm just going to have some lines coming out. So I'm going to basically just do some curved lines starting from that middle point. Just do some lines coming out, and then I'm going to work my way around and just have lines and space and lines and space. I'm just going to work my way around. Just carefully adding some lines. And they are arced lines, they're not just straight lines, they are bendy lines, like little arches, just so that we can imagine that this is like a tube. Just carrying on with those all the way around. Okay, so I've kind of created our pattern, and I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to add anything else to the pattern. Oh, I've just realized that there'll be some here as well, gone outwards from that one, and from here as well. In the corners there'll still be lines as well. Okay. I'm going to have a go at the Veera pattern, so I'll bring that in to show you. And I'm just going to take my time, take it nice and slowly doing this pattern, no rush. And I'm going to start by, in this bottom corner here, I'm going to do a dot. And then over here, I'll do my other dot and my circle. So I'm going to do a circle here. And then I'll have my dot say about there. And then what we're going to do is from here, from the circle, we're going to go to the dot on this side. So we're going to just come out and join up that dot. And I'm going to do a sweeping curve. Now, if it's easier for you to sweep upwards, or move your tile so that you can do a nice sweeping curve down to that other dot. Okay. And then I'm just going to aura that. So I shall come out and then just very gently come down and join in there. And then I'm just going to come out of this circle here and go. So it's kind of like a very elongated J. And then I'm just going to color in this little orb. Okay. So that's that one. And then on this one, see if we can get it to go the other way. See how I can work that out. So I'll have a dot here and a circle here. And then my dot down here. So hopefully. So I'll come out from my circle. So I'm going to go out, meet the dot, and then do my sweeping curve down. And then I'm just going to aura that. So out. And then my sweeping curve, nice and gently down. And then from my orb, I'm going to just come in. And then I will color in. I hope that's okay. So then I'm going to turn around and we're going to try and do exactly the same thing again. So by the time we've got round to the other end, we'll have perfected this, hopefully. So I'm going to start in this bottom corner with a dot. Then I'm going to do a little circle up here. And then I'll do another dot out here somewhere. And then I'll come from my circle to my dot. And I'll do a nice sweeping curve down. And then I'll aura that. Move the tile just so it's comfortable. Come in. And then from here, I'm going to join. And then I'll just color that. Now I have to get my brain to work backwards. So I'm going to draw a dot down here. And then I'm going to do my orb here. And then I'm going to draw my dot over this side. So then I'm going to come out from a dot, sorry, my circle over to my dot, turn the tile, and then I'm going to do my sweeping curve down. And then I'll just aura that. And then from here, I'm going to just come across. And we'll color this in. So then I'm going to turn. And my dot's going to be down in this corner this time. And my circle's going to be on this side. And then my other dot's going to be on that side. So I've got dot here and a dot here with my little orb in the middle. And I'm going to come out from the orb to the dot. And then I'm going to sweep down with a nice curve to my other dot. Then I'm going to come out from the orb again. And aura, oops, aura, get stuck there in. And come down, sweep down. And then from the orb to the back. Kind of harp shape, really. And then I'm going to color in my orb. And now I've got to do it back to front. So I'm going to start with my dot down at the bottom. And then my circle is going to be on this side. And then my dot is going to be on the other side. So this time we're going to come from here across, sorry, from the orb to the dot. And then we're doing sweeping down. And then we'll aura that. And sweep down. And then my little line just joining up. And we'll do our little colouring in. So we've got one more. So I'm going to start in this corner with a dot. And then I'm going to have my circle, little orb here. And then my dot on the other side. And I'm going to sweep out from my orb to the dot on the right. And then do a nice big curve down. And then I'm going to aura that. And then from this circle, we're going to just meet and then color in that little orb. And then on this side, I'm going to do my little dot. And then my orb's going to be on this side this time. So I'm going to do a little orb here. And my circle, my dot's over this side. So we're going to go from the orb to the dot. And then we're going to sweep down in a nice curve. And we're going to go from the orb and aura that line. And we're going to go from the orb and just do a nice sort of curve and colour in that little dot. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some more auras. So I'm going to come from the bottom here and I'm going to just aura upwards. And then I'm going to come along. And I'm going to do the same on this side. I'm going to come and aura. And then just bump into that line. So I'll bring these two lines down to meet. So I'm going to do the same on this one. I'm going to come along and aura. So up. Out. And then just bump into that line. And then across. And down. And I'm just going to go around and aura all of them. And you might find that you're going off the page, you're going outside your line, and that's absolutely fine. You just stop when you bump into the edge. So we've got our auras all done on that one. So what I want to do is on the inside line now, I'm just going to pop some little lines. So just on the inside bit, I'm just going to do some little lines. Just all the way around. Okay, like that. So just on that inside kind of J shape, I'm just going to do some little lines just to make that pop now. Okay, so it's kind of making it stand out. Just little small lines, just taking your time. And just follow that all the way down. So just focusing on that mark that you're making right this moment. And breathing normally. And if you feel that you're rushing ahead, just take a moment just to slow down that mark making on the card. And just really focus on this moment. I think I'm just going to have one more aura on these. And they might kind of start to bump into each other now and kind of meet. That's fine. So just kind of not set up. Got that. So where I've got like a line that's kind of here, I'm just gonna kind of join those so that it's kind of creating like a triangle coming out of them. That's a small word. And I'm just going to, in this space here, I'm going to just do some bubbles, so the big circles. So just do some orbs. And then you can do some little ones. I'm going to do the same on this side. So make sure that you have, some quite big. And then you can obviously do smaller ones. I'm just going to kind of do my border so that I can define what's going on here in terms of color and adding a bit more pen. I'm just going to come around where I've already done my orbs, and I'm going to just fill in the border. I've still got some to do here, so I'll do the border once I've done my shapes. So on some of them, because it's bubbles, I'm going to do, not all of them, but maybe on the larger ones, I'll just do the 2 circles. And remember that you can add a little, bit of color to make these a different shape if you want, just by filling in that little half moon shape. But I'm just going to do a few. As I say, I'm not doing them all, but I'll just pick out a few of the bigger ones. And I'll just aura the circle. And I'm just going to leave the others just as plain orbs. And then I'll just go along and just kind of fill in just along that edge where, just to kind of define just colouring in a little bit around those orbs that you've created. And really just creating a definition of where the boundaries are and the borders. And if you want to define the border in the center as well, we can just kind of go along and just mark that out in with your pen, so it can kind of become framed, really. I think I'm just going to do a little aura inside this shape here, just one, kind of where it's got this like it's like a bird's beak or something. I'm just kind of going to create an aura within that shape. There we are. Okay, I think I'm going to add some shading now, to be fair, because I think there's going to be quite a bit of shading on this one. So I'm going to start with the centerpiece. And I'm going to just go around the edge of the spiral. I'm just going to draw a line just following that edge. Putting down your pencil. Just keeping it going all the way around. And even the bits that are just the little bits in the corners, do those as well. And then I'll bring in the total one. I'm just going to blend that out. Because I want to get that 3D effect, really. And make it look like it's a coral. It's, you know, like tubed shape, so that it's like it's 3D. I'm just going to do a little bit on the inside of my curve as well. Not center it. Excuse me. So you're kind of really trying to create, still having some light. It's the contrast that will create the depth. So I'm going to just, and don't be afraid to come in and add a little bit more. Just soften that. That's probably got enough on there now. So I'm not sure actually if I'm falling into the hole, because it kind of looks like you're being sucked into a spiral now. And then I'm just going to frame that. So I'm going to come along where that inner square is and just kind of add a little bit of pencil just to kind of frame that. Just going to darken along the edge. And I might come back in with my pen in a minute, just to kind of make it look like you're kind of looking into a space there. Could just bring in my penning in and just thicken that up a little bit. So you're kind of getting more of a, like you're looking into something. And I'm kind of going to do the same on the edge of my Veera pattern as well. I'm going to kind of come in and shade on the edge of it. So just add shade on that edge and that edge. So that you're kind of getting a depth here. Okay, and that's kind of making it look more like, you know, you're parting something and there's something underneath. So I hope you can kind of get that. So I'm going to do the same on this side as well. I'm going to come in and shade along just that one edge. So I'm just going to go around and do that on the edges of all of this. It kind of looks like a big sort of florally thing now it's turned out. Like nearly mandala looking in how that Veera pattern has turned out. Okay, so it's literally just creating depth by adding the shading on these outer edges here. It makes it look like you've got layers. So, and that there's things underneath rather than it just being a single dimensional image. It then tends to pop. So just an add on that. And you can also obviously come back in and add a little bit more pen to just give that thicker line to then give even more of an illusion of depth. And when you've shaded with the pencil, sometimes it just kind of tends to dull down the edges. So if you redefine them, it can really make things pop. And you're just thickening it up ever so slightly. But it's also making it look like the little bubbles are underneath. So just peeking through. So I'm gonna keep the main ones in full light, but I'm just gonna shade it either side. I'm just gonna do a little bit of shading on, and then I'm just gonna make our usual kind of little C shape on the orbs. But I do want to keep some of them kind of in the light, so that you can kind of see them just popping through. And then with the Veera pattern, I'm just going to shade on the inside of and I'm going to try not to pull full color, and I'm going to leave a little bit. So I'm going to just shade around the edge, but I want to leave some white. So I might actually just use the lead that's on my tortillon at the minute. So I'm just going to leave some white, but just go around the inner. So go around that inner shape, but not all of it. Excuse me. So maybe I do need to actually come in and just darken down the edge, just so that that kind of highlights the rest of it. Yeah, I do, don't I, really? So I'll come in and just darken down the edge of that with some pencil, so I can actually leave white space. I'm just going to go around each one and just darken around the inner of the pattern, and then very softly bend that out, but leaving space that is white in the center. On my torsion on now. I still need to come in with a pencil. And then I'm just gonna, of the inner side of this pattern, actually, I wonder if it's worth doing some little, might do some little orbs in that shape. Just seeing that there kind of stands out. I would actually do some little . orbs in that shape. I even take orbs, actually. And then I'm just going to come on the inside of that, on all of those, and then I will shade those and leave a little bit of white space as well. Just put some pencil in that one already, and in that one, so I might not have to do anything on those ones. Oops, sorry. I'll just so with this one, I think leaving that white space actually works. So I'm not going to do any shading on the rest of the lines, because I kind of like how that sort of pops, and it makes you kind of look at these petals of the Veera, the shape. I think you're actually drawn to look at them, and I kind of want that to be like that. I want that to pop. So I kind of like how that is just with those just being left white and not having any shade or contrast added to them. So I think I might just come along, just pull out a little bit on my frame. Okay. I'm just going to hold it at arm's length and have a look to see what I think. If there's anything glaringly, obviously, I'm not right with it. And yeah, I'm really pleased how that's actually turned out now, considering that pattern was quite challenging. It's kind of come out very florally, sort of looking, or some kind of creature there. I'm not quite sure. I'll find out what you think. So I'm going to just have, so it's put my name, and what that is, and today's date, some Tango session, and it is the 19th, looks like. Can't see properly with my glasses, I'm afraid. 19th of January. So I hope it is the 19th. And we used Arsu and Veera for the main, and Bubbles. And we did have some tipple in there. I think that's it, isn't it? Arsu, Bubbles, Veera. Yeah, that's it, because the rest is really just orbs and stuff. So let's have a look and see how you got on with that one.